Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Monday morning. And this is the morning of the week that follows the never-ending saga of the Trump administration's longest-running act of kabuki theater in American presidential politics history. And what has come out of all of this? Well, a Jesuit has been ordained to the Supreme Court, ladies and gentlemen. And may I remind all of you that Hitler ran a far-right operation as well. Just because this guy's been confirmed doesn't mean that our salvation draweth nigh, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Let me tell you something about our president and the antics he's up to. All right? Look at what is going on. Look behind the scenes. They've had this curtain drawn for about almost 3 weeks now. And now that we pull it back and open it up, we see what has transpired behind the scenes. And what has transpired behind the scenes, as I said it would, is this Jesuit has been confirmed. Now, all of this Me Too nonsense and, you know, all these women making up allegations that, oh yeah, I got fondled or I got attacked or, you know, I mean, you know what? I'll be honest with you. If every one of those allegations were true, then there wouldn't be any room in any of the jails for anybody, all right? And there wouldn't be so many people in the world if everything these people described was illegal, because nobody'd be making babies, all right? What's going on here is it's okay for the deniers of Jesus Christ who run the media, who promote all this rape and filth and debauchery and reduction of women to sex objects, are the same ones that have the hook in Donald Trump's nose that's connected to a chain that's being pulled by a tractor by the Tel Aviv Teletubbies to drag us into war into Syria and Iran. But it's not okay for those people who are the deniers of Jesus Christ, who run the vile filth Illuminati sex whore media that teaches young men how to rape girls and has songs by people like Danny Elfman produced on records that says, I like little girls, they make me feel so good. And they have all these cartoons like, you know, all these cartoons with this disgusting evil crap, and I'm just making a mockery out of women, and, you know, all these music videos with these girls acting like animals, you know, half clothed and gyrating their sex changed bodies. Is it any wonder, ladies and gentlemen, why we have the mess we have? It's because the people that control things love the chaos. The people that control things get their control out of chaos. You know, it's amazing what went on for a couple of weeks behind the scenes while the Trump administration was running interference and spewing subterfuge over this nomination process. We got 5G. As a matter of fact, there's been a recent ruling by the FCC that basically told cities to go pound sand. You can't rent your poles for these antennas for what you want. You're going to give them to the wireless companies for $150 a year or whatever. In other words, the FCC of the Trump administration has stuck their foot down their throats and said, hey, municipalities, you don't have any rights. We're going to put this 5G in whether you like it or not. And we're going to put it in and not even pay a decent rate of return on your public rights-of-ways. Because screw you, we're the Trump administration and 5G is a national priority. And we're going to put in this weaponized millimeter wave, body scanning, all-seeing eye microwave cancer sterilization matrix in 100 feet apart everywhere you live, because I'm Donald Trump and I got Baphomets in my apartment, and you know, I'm a New York City bankruptcy whore from the real estate stockpile that has made me billions of dollars indebted to the people who loan me all the money. And I get to put 5G everywhere. And I get to give you the real ID 2020. That's right, Clinton couldn't get it through, Bush couldn't get it through, Obama couldn't get it through, because everybody's screaming and yelling about it, right? What do we got now? Everybody cheering for it. How quick can I get my real ID 2020, right? Look, folks, this Kavanaugh thing's a joke, okay? It's a joke. You know what? So we got another justice on the Supreme Court. Do you think it's going to make any difference? We'll soon find out. Let's see what they do with the Second Amendment. Let's see if they restore the Second Amendment, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if they stop murdering babies. Let's see if they restore marriage between a man and a woman. Let's see if they'll demand that the United States close its borders. Let's see if we will get rid of the Federal Reserve. Let's see what Kavanaugh is really all about. Is it a Bush League frat party boy that's been installed, who was a Bush operative? Where's all the arrests? Where's all these sealed indictments? How come no one's going to jail? How come the border's wide open? And how come I got to get in line by these women that pile on these piles of junk food and beer and soda pop with their EBT card, as their children are all running around with steel caps on their teeth and eyeglasses on my dime? That's right. That's right. And they're men that they're not married to are out there taking all the jobs away from the Americans, and they're hitting up the massage parlors after work because they're not married. They get their happy ending from the sex trafficked sex slaves they're bringing in from Southeast Asia. You heard me, folks. You heard me. Kavanaugh helped write the Patriot Act, folks. You people are out of your minds believing this baloney. Trump's an operative. Kavanaugh's an operative. You guys need to wake up. In the meantime, they're releasing weaponized mosquitoes all over the United States. We've got this polio-like outbreak in Minnesota where there's 6 kids in the hospital. One of them is paralyzed from the nose down, probably from a mosquito bite carrying one of these weaponized mosquito virulent strains of polio-like genetic material. Acute flaccid myelitis, I believe it's what it's called, where this poor kid is paralyzed from the nose down. They admitted to releasing 20 million genetically modified Aedes aegypti mosquitoes in Northern California last summer, folks. What's up with that vibration on my phone? Every time I hit something really hard, the handlers get a hold of me. No, I'm just kidding. That was my wife. Probably got some good news for me, as always, because that's the beauty of being married. 20 years, folks, same woman. You're not supposed to trade them in. You're supposed to change the oil and take care of them, and they'll take care of you. Stay faithful to your wife, ladies and gentlemen. Stay faithful to your husband, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to stay faithful to your spouse. That is the foundation of a stable, free, prosperous, and safe society, is the family unit. And I don't plug it enough. But, we'll see what Mr. Patriot Act, PNAC, neocon Jesuit Kavanaugh is going to do about the husband and wife dealio, and about the Second Amendment, and how they keep trying to ban every aspect of us owning a way to defend ourselves against the government. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, the government has created a situation that has put the American people at odds with the government, because the government is armed to the hilt, and the government is working to disarm us. So let's see if Mr. Kavanaugh, Mr. Conservative, will give us back our Second Amendment. And that means that, just because somebody wants to smoke a joint, they don't have a right to own a gun? Really? Are you kidding me? Do you know what they do to these military people? They give them automatic weapons? First of all, I'm not even going to go into what the medical experimentation consists of that is being conducted on our military, yet they're walking around with MP5s, right? Okay. Well, just because somebody wants to smoke a blunt, does that mean they're not mentally stable enough to own a gun? Well, why are the school districts handing out psychotropic medication like Pez candy on Halloween, ladies and gentlemen? Why is that? Why is that? And why don't we diagnose all these people that deny the existence of God as mentally ill and bar them from owning a gun? Because after all, isn't it a fact, a documented fact, that the butchers of modern history were all atheists? So why don't we have a diagnosis of mental illness for all the people that run the colleges and the high schools and the elementary schools that are teaching kids that came from rocks in some explosion? I don't know. Just some food for thought. Look, the Kavanaugh circus is over and nothing's changed. We're going to war in the Middle East. Trump is dragging us to war. He's got that hook in his nose that is being controlled by a chain connected to a tractor that's being pulled by the Tel Aviv Teletubbies, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. And your kid's going to come back in a frickin' body bag if you don't wake up to this. And you know what? Do you go to one of these churches run by some fathead preacher that tells you to worship these people that put Jesus Christ on the cross? Because they're the ones that are getting ready to start World War III, ladies and gentlemen. They're the ones who are getting ready to drag us to war, to fight their proxy wars, and Trump's their operative. Trump owes them billions of dollars. He just gave Israel 28, or was it $38 billion for their military. Can I ask you a question? Why the hell are we giving people money for their military when they're in the middle? They already got nuclear weapons. They're the only ones in the Middle East that are allowed to have nuclear weapons. Why'd we give them $30 billion more? So they can make more 5G weaponry and bring it over here, because they're not getting it over there. What's Trump giving them $28 billion for? To make more 5G antennas to put in my neighborhood? Or to make some laser beams that are going to turn us into blobs if we try to take them off the telephone poles? Look, I'm sick and tired of this real estate bankruptcy whore in the White House playing games. We got all kinds of whacked out weather modification going on in the United States right now. It's radical weather modification. It's killing people, ruining all kinds of agricultural processes, destroying people's lives, livelihoods, and they're releasing all these gigantic monstrosity, steroided out, weaponized mosquitoes all over the place. The United States has been invaded, not at its southern border, by a bunch of single men that are heading for the massage parlors. They got all their girlfriends making anchor babies, you know, stacking the conveyor belt at the grocery store with the EBT cards with a bunch of junk food. And by the way, I don't cover this enough, but you want to know something? I am sick and tired of sitting in the grocery store and watching these women, and I'm going to be frank here, I don't know how they got pregnant, okay? Because by the looks of them, I don't know who. You cannot sit here and give out food stamps to people that buy ding-dongs, Twinkies, Flamin' Hot Cheetos, Oreos, Ho-Hos, and beef jerky sticks, and Keebler Elf boxes, and Swiss Miss, and Pepsi. I mean, there wasn't a darn thing I see on these conveyor belts that resembled anything close to food. If these people were poor, then they shouldn't be eating a bunch of garbage that's going to make them fat and make them sick, so I got to pay for their procedures in the hospital. I went over the medical insurance scam last night for all these people on the freebies, all these illegal aliens that get on the Medicaid. They got zero deductible for everything, folks. They don't have to pay for nothing. They don't have to pay for a damn thing. They don't have to pay for their food. They don't have to pay for their daycare. They don't have to pay for their kids' breakfast, their kids' lunch, their kids' dinner, their kids' dental care, their kids' orthodontic care, their kids' vision care, their kids' backpacks. Heck, some of them are getting free rent. And they get all this free food. And I watch these people stacking up the junk food, the utter disgusting garbage they put in their bodies. Their kids are all fat. They're all screwed up. And I got to pay taxes up the yin-yang so they can get free medical care because they're all falling apart from eating crap. Why don't they stop these food stamps and these credit cards from paying for this garbage? They should be getting beans and rice and vegetables and fruit, and that's it, and water. No soda, no cheeseburgers, no ding-dongs, no eclairs, no ice cream, no popsicles, no Funyuns, no hot dogs. They need to eat real food so they don't get sick and bankrupt the hospitals. But that's what they're doing, folks. And guess what they get to do? They get to vote. They get to vote for all the criminal politicians that tell them to bring more friends over here. But the United States has a big problem, and Trump's not doing a damn thing about the invasion, folks. He's doing nothing. He just confirmed a guy to the Supreme Court that helped write the Patriot Act, ladies and gentlemen. You people better wake up, because the government is allowing the United States to be overrun by weaponized, genetically modified mosquitoes that have been known to carry, and I believe are carrying, encephalitic diseases that are going to bring polio back, folks, in a new and improved form, so they can come at you with a new and improved vaccine mandate. I don't know why people can't see through all this. Maybe people just haven't done their research. You know, it's unbelievable how this country is being gutted like a fat hog and handed over to a bunch of invaders who manage to get their pals into office, to get their pals into these jobs at these social service agencies so they know how to work the system. And then the rest of us got to go to work and pay taxes to pay for all this criminal activity and criminal behavior. I'm going to say it once again. When I go to the grocery store and I see these women with these women are fat, their kids are fat, they're all unhealthy. They're feeding these kids garbage, and they break out the EBT card, and they're buying beers. You know, they're buying beers for their anchor baby daddies, okay? I'm seeing it. And they're buying the soda and the chips because they're probably going to watch the fight because they can afford to have the cable or the satellite TV because they don't have to pay for anything else. And they got this EBT card, and I watch, literally $200 go to like 12 because the EBT card doesn't pay for, the nail polish and the mascara. And then I have to put my food up there, which consists of, like broccoli and cauliflower and, a steak and some fish and some water and maybe a couple of light bulbs if I'm at the 99-cent store and they got some incandescents or halogens left. And when my $190 shows up on the screen, guess what? It doesn't get a 99% discount. No. And at the end of the year, I get this bill and I got to write this fat check to the state of California. And when my wife, who's 105 pounds, has to take a physical once every year so she can get a discount on her health insurance, she's got to wait 3 months to get into the doctor's to get an appointment because the doctor's offices are overflowing with all these people full of Funyuns and Cracker Jacks and frosting and cake and brownies. And you want to know something? I'm sick of paying for it. I'm sick of paying for it, folks. When my wife wants to go to the doctors to get a physical, she shouldn't have to wait 3 months. I've had to go to the emergency room with a family member recently. I would say it's been several months, but not in my household, but out of my household, but a family member nonetheless. It's a shit show in there, folks. It's disgusting. And you know what? I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off right now. You know why? Because I'm sick of this. And I'm sick of everybody worshiping this guy in the White House like he's some savior. He's got all the churches worshiping this guy. Listen, this is George Bush Redux, okay? We're going to war. They're beating the war drum, folks. The border's wide open, and we're going to war. They're releasing weaponized mosquitoes, folks. Everywhere in the United States is being infested by invasive mosquitoes that bite during the day, that create all these welts because they've been injected with stuff to get our bodies ready for the 1-2 punch, folks. Because the first round of mosquitoes will inject us with the first part of the chemical reaction to get our immune systems weakened and primed. Have you noticed when you're bitten by these weaponized mosquitoes, these ones that are biting during the day now that you've never had? I've got reports from some people it's 45 degrees and there's still mosquitoes around. These mosquitoes are being released with stuff in them to set us up, to prime us for the reception of the diseases they're about to release on us. And I talked to you yesterday. If you watched that stream last night with me and Grindall61, you got to get off the sugar. You got to get off all the sugar. I mean 0% sugar in your life, or you're going to get sick and possibly die. We got people ending up waking up paralyzed, and the doctors don't know what it is, what caused it. There's no cure, there's no vaccine, there's no nothing. Get off the sugar, folks. Don't end up like these EBT people, okay? And you know what? You got to stop putting up with this crap. And you know what you have to do? You have to take control of your own family. We're not going down with the ship with all these crooks and all these liars and all these people ripping off this country. All right? And most of these people on all this EBT stuff are ripping off our country, folks. They don't get married on purpose, so they don't have to count this under-the-table income that the anchor baby daddy's making out while he's taking all the jobs away from the white guys and all the people that are displaced by all this illegal alien ruining the labor force. And that's why we got this homeless problem. We got a homeless problem in California because the illegal aliens have taken away all the low-hanging fruit jobs. And so now all the Anglo males are under the bridge slamming heroin because there's no work for them. And the anchor baby daddies and the anchor baby mommies have filled up all the apartment complexes and commoditized the housing. Because they'll live 30 to a house. And they'll pay top dollar for the house because they can fit 7 cars in the driveway. Or they'll put 12 people in an apartment and they'll pay $2,000 for that dump in Anaheim, and they'll rent out closet space. There's kids sleeping in closets. Is that good? No, it's horrible. But you know what? That's no way to live. And guess who's paying for it? We are. We're paying for the education, the health care, the food, the daycare, the braces, the fillings, the eyeglasses. And you know what else you're paying for? You're paying the price with your taxes. And you're paying the price with the congested roads, with all these jalopies on the roads, with these guys with fake IDs getting driver's licenses from their matriculate cards. That's right. Got a bunch of people with fake IDs getting driver's licenses. And you know what else they're doing? They're voting! And they're voting to install the people that's going to give them more free shit! You heard me! California is being invaded by illegal aliens that are getting signed up to vote at the DMV with their fake IDs, and they're electing people that's going to give them more free shit. Did you hear me? And these are the people that are not going to complain about the forced vaccinations. They're not going to complain about the microwave towers everywhere. They're not going to complain about the chemtrails or the chemical geoengineering or the stuff they're spraying on the mosquitoes or the stuff they're spraying in their backyards, because they're too busy filling up their shopping cart with the EBT card and drinking beer and watching the fight and getting their happy ending at the massage parlor. And they don't care if their kids get a free iPad. They don't care if their daughter's got the iPad in their lap. They won't listen. You know, there's a school by my house, and this school was called Raymond Elementary, and this particular school had the highest rate of taking the flyers and throwing them on the ground when I tried to warn the parents about what the microwave systems in the schools are doing to the kids. And the school's predominantly Hispanic. They don't want to hear it, folks. They want their free stuff. They want everything for nothing. They want to break all the rules. Well, I want to tell you something, folks. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of paying for it. You want to know something? Stop hiring these people. Stop hiring all these people, folks. It's your fault. You want to pay the high price of cheap help? Well, guess what? You got it. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, back on the apple cider vinegar. Back on the cayenne pepper and the turmeric and the Himalayan pink salt and the ice cubes and the ground up coral powder for the minerals, and the cream of tartar, and the freshly squeezed ginger root. That's right, you heard me, folks. And I got a lemon and a lime in that baby. And I want to tell you something, it feels great. You people need to understand that you're getting sprayed, you're getting injected, you got all kinds of stuff going on, folks. You got all kinds of stuff. You got weaponized mosquitoes are being released all over the United States, and you're worried about this soap opera. Oh, let's get this guy into the Supreme Court. He helped write the Patriot Act. Read the Patriot Act, folks. The Patriot Act. Yeah, they rammed it through. Nobody read it. They had to vote for it. Yep. You need to start eating apple seeds and apricot seeds. They're going to give everybody cancer. They're going to start killing everybody off with these 5G systems, with this WIKIJOE stuff, with all this chemical crap in the foods, all the glyphosate. You can't even eat a piece of bread anymore, folks. Get off the wheat! The wheat is poison. What do they give you? Oh, this bread and wheat and flour and gooey pizza dough, and everybody's just blowing up like a frickin' balloon. I want to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. You better wake up. You better wake up. You take those avocado seeds and stop throwing them away. Put them in the oven and cook them and then grind them up and eat them. They're food. Stop eating the Honey Nut Cheerios and start eating your avocado seeds, for crying out loud. Come on. Did your pastor talk about any of this yesterday? You know, I go to a church that's really small. Nice people in this church, really good-natured people. And, you know, there's, I don't know, maybe 30 people in this church, and they'll make 300 or 400 lunches, and they'll go down to the homeless places. And they'll hand out, I mean, you got a church of 30 people, they're making hundreds of lunches. Taking care of people, you know, helping people out. And it's sad, all these people are homeless. They're veterans, they're able-bodied young men. They're on drugs. They're all on drugs, folks. Because the military ruined a bunch of these guys, and the illegal aliens took all the jobs from the rest of them. You know, it's really sad. We've got these problems, and you know, no one wants to solve them. What's Trump doing? Nothing! Trump's doing nothing. All Trump is doing is making sure that Israel gets tens of billions of dollars to make more weapons to kill the poor Palestinians in Gaza, and that we get the 5G as a national program to where we can't say no to it, and the Trump administration's FCC is shoving it down our throats. That's right. The Trump administration's FCC has made a ruling that says the cities can't set the rates for what they charge to rent the poles. Can I ask you a question? How do they have a right to tell cities what their stuff is worth? The cities have to install electric meters and wiring to accommodate this stuff. The cities are not entitled to a fair right of return. No, Trump is setting us up, folks. He's setting us up for full-blown automation, full-blown unemployment, and a full-blown collapse of everything. That's right. He's setting the stage. Now, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be gradual. But we're going to be ending up with 80% unemployment pretty soon because the machines are going to take over. And what is Trump doing about this? Nothing. He's making sure the labor market is in the race to the bottom because he keeps the borders wide open. That's right. The commoditization of housing is caused by massive increases in population. And the decline in wages is caused by a massive increase in population. Wages drop and housing goes up. It's an inverse J-curve that's a disaster. You guys are a bunch of idiots. You got your tax break. You think that's all that matters? You get a little extra money back at the end of the year. They cut the corporate tax so they can buy more kiosks to replace the people at McDonald's. You think that money's going back into the pockets of the average American? No! Trump has corporate welfare for the wealthy, and Obama had corporate welfare for the loafers. What's the difference? They just the pendulum swings one way and then the other. Pay your taxes. Turn in your guns. Take your vaccines. Watch the screens. Don't look at the sky. Screw in all those LED light bulbs. Make sure you play plenty of Fortnite. Make sure you put extra sugar in your caramel frappé macchiato or whatever they call that, latteato or whatever. And make sure you add extra caramel syrup to it, and mix it up real good with the heavy cream. And make sure you keep all your windows closed and don't get any fresh air. And make sure you watch MTV and CBS and NBC, and have your kids watching the Disney Channel with the iPad in their laps. And make sure they get an extra dose of Common Core over the summer. And don't ever let them go outside and get any sunlight, because it all causes cancer. And Donald Trump is our savior, and he's going to save us. And we need to go and invade these people in these countries because they're so evil. Are you people on drugs? Are you people on drugs? Are you people on drugs? Because you know what? That's exactly what they're telling you to do, and that's exactly what most of you are doing. Donald Trump is no leader, folks. He's an installed puppet. And how do you think he rose to the top of the New York City real estate business? And it wasn't just by being a bankruptcy whore, folks. He's had a hook in his nose for a long time. He is owned lock, stock, and barrel by the bankers, all right? Guess what? The deniers of Jesus Christ have a special fate awaiting them. It's called hell, ladies and gentlemen. And although they may try to make a version of it here on earth, their eternal destination is one of damnation. And if you want to see what hell looks like, turn on the television, and they will give you a glimpse into their reality, into their lives of filth and vile debasement and debauchery. The destruction of the family, the destruction of women, the destruction of children. Look at the TV, look at the music, look at the movies. It's all about letting everything out of the bottomless pit. Look at the video games, all these demonic half-breed monsters. This is what they worship. The Baphomets are everywhere. The transgender agenda, the Baphomets, it's all connected. The Ball Earth and NASA and all the lies, all the scientism. All of this push to destroy what God has created is going to fail. It's going to fail, and the deniers of Jesus Christ will always fail because they're failures, folks. The deniers of Jesus Christ are losers and failures. They have no truth, they have no hope, they have no life, they have darkness. And it is our job to wake them up and to tell them the truth, that they need to repent of their evil, wicked deeds. They need to get right with Jesus Christ and repent and restore this once great country to what it's designed to be. And that is a bastion of truth and freedom and prosperity for the rest of the world. Not a cash register and a standing army to implement tyranny and eugenics and fraudulent banking systems all over the world by military might and force. All roads lead to Rome, ladies and gentlemen. All roads lead to London. All roads lead to Israel. And all roads lead to D.C. Those are the top places where you're going to find the obelisks. And you might find it on top of your church on Sunday, hiding that cell tower. But listen, folks, Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. And Jesus Christ doesn't lead to any of those places. Jesus Christ leads to heaven, and you need to follow him and shut your TV off and stop watching the Disney Channel. I mean Fox News or ABC or CNN that's run by the military. Look, folks, they're getting ready for war. Don't sign your kids up for the selective service. Don't let your kids go to war to fight these wars, folks. They're a fraud. And we better be careful because I think they're up to something by Christmas time. They got plans. All right? My intel tells me that they're up to something, and they're going to pull something off. Tens of billions of dollars to Israel. We got people sleeping in the freaking streets. We got people sleeping in the gutter in the United States. And Donald Trump's giving billions of dollars to Israel for weapons. And they got military troops roaming the streets over there. They treat those Palestinians like they're sewer rats. And they got nuclear weapons. We're giving them $30 billion. For what? Let's take care of our people here, Donald Trump. Let's seal our borders, Donald Trump. Screw your stupid kabuki theater with your Jesuit Bilderberger clown you just put on the Supreme Court that helped write the Patriot Act that destroyed this country. Yeah. You know what, folks? It's time for you to all open your eyes and wake up. I got news for you, folks. We're all in this together. And you want to know something? We can't continue. We can't continue to put up with this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sign off right now. But you heard me. The Kavanaugh circus is over. And now it's time that the smoke and mirrors have been moved out of the way and they've cleared off the stage. Now you can see who's behind the curtain. And it ain't pretty. Watch out for weaponized mosquitoes, folks. They're being released everywhere. You better get your immune systems intact. And don't take those vaccines, folks. God bless you.